Everybody, this is we're back again with Dave Malkepour of PAD and Pro Audio Design, which is the distributor for TAD in North America. And we finished up a couple days here at the recording studio, and I got a chance to see how Dave does his professional tuning of pro world-class level recording studios with the Augsburger brand. And man, was that something else, Dave. Thanks for taking me along.
Hey,
man, that was really cool.
Really appreciate you riding shotgun today too, because another set of ears, and just to also experience the process of balancing speakers, and which is really different in pro than hi-fi, as I've been delving into on both sides, and you got to see a little inside edge of just how
for sure.
do it,
Yeah, it was really quite amazing. So what I'd like to ask you in front of these folks here, because these guys watch me all the time, you have a professional ear. You guys are way, more attuned to frequency and just how rooms sound, especially rooms, than us audiophile guys. So what is your feedback on what you heard from here? This is my rig that I've tuned using my ears. How did I do?
Well, it's an amazing listening room in a lot of ways. And I'd asked you a couple questions about how you came to this shape, because it doesn't look like a typical residential shape, because the front of the room is lower than the back of the room, and that you might have that in some eaves of your house on one side, but usually the other side is going to be dropping down. Here we start at the front of the room and we work our way to the back of the listening room with a rise, and that's actually an optimum type of shape for a listening environment. We actually use some of that in recording studios where we have the speakers in the front wall, and as you go back in the room gets bigger in the back of the room, and that's like a horn-loaded approach to a room, and it's helpful in efficiency. Here, what I was noticing is, no matter which of the three speaker systems we listen to tonight, that they all have a really great image in the center of the room, and as much as I'm biased to the TAD CE1 TXs that you're here, that you've got on your listening environment for your clients and stuff, they're all impressive in their own right, and it's because the room sounds good. And I felt like there was a lot of depth in the listening environment, not just nice width or tonality, but there's actually depth which gives us that three-dimensional experience. And I think the difference of like a hi-fi listening room like this and a studio that we were in earlier today is that we're listening in these kinds of environments. We want to hear what's coming off of the back of the speaker and filling the front of the room. And your Maggie's here with your custom tweeter and
their
your
analysis. Yeah, analysis audio with the Magnepan tweeter. Yep,
with the Magnepan tweeter, and then these subwoofers are quite interesting sounding. And just like everything along the way, you've spent so much time dialing it in for this room, and you got great ears. I could tell today when we were listening, and the other day when we were at Generation Now Studios, that you could pick out the things that you could hear that I was tuning for. And then when I hear it in here, we listened to some tracks that we had, that you shared with me, like that Boz Scaggs track, thanks to you, which to me is one of the great reference tracks that I've been using since you turned me on to it. Like at the show last weekend, we were showing off the TADs, and it's a track that if you don't have the bass right, it doesn't fill the space in front of you. And then the layers of his vocal, like when we were listening on the CE1s in here, particularly because that's a speaker I know really well, I felt like in here with the viola amp, it has this incredible warmth and depth, while the TAD always has this clarity and kind of naturalness to it. It just seems like the speaker's not there, and we're listening to the music. So I really like the room. I could really just sit here and listen and feel inside the music. And then you went to your giant panel speakers, and it's like a whole experience, and really cool. And I was impressed by how the little speaker, the CE1 TX,
it's amazing,
does a kind of similar thing to these three subwoofers and this giant speaker. immersively putting you inside the music, and that was really cool, man. You got a killer spot, and
are they safe with me tuning for their? Are they safe with me putting a system together for them?
Well, if you can make it sound like this in someone's room, that's worth the price of admission right there.
Right on.
I think one of the hardest things to do is to put the right pieces of the puzzle together.
For sure.
And
we tune passively, right? We match gear in order to tune our rooms. We don't use DSP.
Right,
so
exactly. And
we have to passively do it. It's a pain in the ass.
What you're kind of going for is the best listening experience.
Mm-hmm.
And, I definitely, after hearing this, I feel really great that TAD's in your hands as well, like that you're part of the TAD family.
Right on, brother.
And I think, anybody who's considering, if you're in the area and you want to hear a great sounding room and great sounding, chain, the whole experience of it. Because I don't think, when you're putting a whole stereo together, it's not just the one piece or the cable.
No,
you
can't.
It's the culmination of all of it. And,
that's right.
This is a really nice cultivation. So
yeah, awesome.
Super cool.
Thanks, man. See, that's why I'm so cocky when I talk on this channel. I'm so cocky because I listen to this.
You should be. You should be proud, man.
And people can't hear it through the YouTube. They can a little bit, but
I'm looking forward to seeing how TAD, bringing TAD back into the market after it was asleep for some time, and being with some really good people like yourself.
Man.
It makes us feel like we're on the right track. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, man.
And it's cool, and just to spend the these couple days with you, between my last trip through Atlanta and this little return, I'm excited because you got to see something that a lot of people don't get to see, the insides, and we had an amazing talk with some producers tonight about
that was great,
where music's at and the challenges that we're facing with things like AI and the tools that are out there that like almost anybody make music versus really seasoned artists and some of things are we have the most incredible technology for capturing stuff, but we also have the incredible technology for creating without humans, and that's a scary time, and I pray for music, and I pray for all of us to be able to keep finding these killer performers that can just pick up an instrument and play and sing, because that's so powerful. And hearing some of the stuff you played for me tonight, the Nick Cage and the
Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds,
thanks. That
with Kylie Minogue.
It's really dimensional music. It's really good stuff to listen to and on these high-end systems, because you can really hear like all the effort that was put into creating that in a soundscape. Not just the song that was well crafted, not a great voice, but like this whole environment that they're putting you in. And so it's
an experience.
Definitely.
That's what this is about. Yeah,
absolutely. And
we talked about it earlier.
Yeah, the thing that gets me excited is listening to music. So
for sure,
artists are facing being erased and in favor of computer generated type stuff.
Higher
and it's
profits.
Happening, and higher profits, no royalty streams,
right?
Just one big cash cow of commercialism. But look, at the end of the day, I think musicians will continue to reign supreme. There's an amazing voice inside of some of these singers that is part of like a resonant chamber in their head and in their heart, and when you pull out an emotional experience and someone that feels that, I have a hard time believing a computer generated version of that could ever get the grip of the experience that someone had falling in love and writing about it,
right,
and sending that out with their instrument and their voice. So that's what I hope for. It's just that we keep that spirit alive, and then we can listen to it in a room like this.
Yeah, man.
So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for joining, Dave.
Thanks for listening.
Say bye to everybody. See you.
Cheers.
Yep.